listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. Looks like I don't have any noise gate on. Let me see what's going on there. What's going on there? Who's in charge of this place? All right, let me see this. I guess it does go down kind of low there. It looks well enough, I imagine. But it's loud in my headphones. The second noise gate brings it down a little bit. I don't know why this is loud but not loud. Maybe it's just loud in my headphones. How do I, let me see. Maybe I need to turn down my headphones. All right, let's see how this works. Okay, that should be fine. All right. Oh, is that actually, oh, there it is. I just started to decrease the sound. That looks okay. Again, different weather patterns carry the sound differently. But I was standing there with my headphones on and my mic on. Somebody beeped their horn. It sounded like it was right behind me. But it was probably like to my front about 7-8 spaces. All right. So we got that registration working here in Kansas. Hopefully that works. The lady behind the counter was like all business. I could tell she was like on the edge of focused self-discipline. You didn't dare, venture off topic. She looked like she may have been part Asian. Again, around here I realize there's a lot of Koreans. I kind of wish I would have ventured here sooner because I generally do well around Koreans. So it is what it is. So the big indictment against Trump, that's probably not the biggest worry he has, but yet it's very important to understand it's a conspiracy. That's called a criminal conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. So that is a big issue. Well, that's the big one. When you conspire with another person, that's like the worst. And that's what I was trying to get at in the beginning. As long as he didn't actively do anything, and that's what's happening in these other cases. It wasn't like, let's thwart the system. He's going to try to play that up. Well, look, Biden, look, this person, that person. Right. What he should have done when he was out of office, the same thing Bush Sr. did. Just put your kids in. And I think he'd have been okay. Right? Just transfer the ownership of the government. And really, he did get ripped off by COVID. It's just, I don't know if it's actually bad luck, because if you increase the cursing against other people, something like that will arrive. I've spoke about that before COVID, how plagues increase based upon people cursing one another. So again, it is what it is. So I don't know if my friend made it anywhere. I think she tried to hint to me that she did go, but she's not like speaking to me. She like disappeared. And the government's going like, "Oh, you were cucked by that woman." So what I'm doing, it's articulating how I really don't give a shit. I was actually behind in my tithing, so that was my tithe. But it's also an analysis of what's happening to homeless people and how we can't get them anywhere, even if we apply money. And again, a lot of that is metaphysical. So I ended up going up to north to Mission Shawnee area, and that would be different than going on Olathe. So God was looking into how we were going to be treated up there. Well, people of color don't get off the hook for judgment just based upon being people of color. So those systems have to be looked at also. Not to say there isn't any people of color in Olathe, but it's a lot. If you go up to Shawnee, there's a lot more people of color than you would find down in Olathe. Or a larger concentration. So I'm out a little bit earlier because it's a little cooler, but not really. Still, I can still feel the heat from like the road, in the building. That's what happens around 11 o'clock. The heat from the road and the building kind of subsides. Still there, but not that much. So I wouldn't say I had questions, but I call them answers to questions. Satan will attack your mind, and your mind seeks an answer to see if it's real. In demonic communities that are overwhelmingly demonic, there's no answers, and that's how actually mental illness occurs. But it's still not real. It's metaphysical, because the system says, well, somebody that has this type of thing happening to them would go crazy, and then it forces mental illness on the person. But it also includes bringing other people that are crazy making and gaslighting into the light based upon that stupid theory. So again, they would call that the rules, but of course they don't admit to it. Like, we all have equal chances, right? It doesn't exist. So it delivered an answer today. And I think I had one a couple days ago. I usually just write it off, but it wouldn't normally have been there. That answer would normally not have been there. So it may be, because I spoke about it, maybe somebody's trying to heal it, I don't know. And then even if they don't hear me physically, they may get the thought in their mind that it needs to get healed. People should get their answers. That's actually a respectable community. So they're looking at some more foreclosures coming up here in the near future. So that's not a good thing, but it's expected. There was all that irresponsibility of giving out mortgages where they probably shouldn't have. Again, we went through something similar to 2006 and 7 and whatnot. So it is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. All right. Something weird about baseball going on right now. Everything's floating baseball. It's like this baseball vibration going on. I'm seeing baseball everywhere and softball, and they're practicing their grip, choking up on the bat. Had a guy and a gal. I don't know, maybe they're on a date. I don't know. They're going high on a bat and showing us how to swing it. That don't sound sexual, doesn't it? They curse that into my life, you know that. That's from the government idiots, the orgy masters. They sit there at NSA and cause orgies across the United States in the name of stopping pedophiles. They're front people of the FBI psychologists. You know, some of the like the real ones that aren't scammers and liars and, you know, fornicators and or those that cause fornication and then say that the person's fornicating. In FBI language, of course. That's essentially where they are. The ones that don't do that are so mad because they soiled the FBI name. That's the part that you all don't know. Even though it doesn't go anywhere and they don't prosecute or anything, people walking around and laughing at them. All right. So I'm just trying to figure out how to, you know, keep my debt down next month with this added debt from the bus menagerie. So like I said, if she got to the next city, then that's fine. I don't care that it cost an extra $250 or something like that to get to the next city, because that's how it works. I think obviously she's cursed. I mean, I think Greyhound should have considered what I was trying to say and should have at least issued a partial refund. I mean, I would think they had some sort of fund for homeless people that were at risk due to missing a bus and a homeless disabled person, which means they don't care. So we don't care now. Somebody's saying, I don't know if it's true, a voice saying if I went through Flix may have did it for us instead of going through Greyhound, but it could be the same operators. I don't know. I mean, I didn't speak to anybody. You can't. Their whole thing is there's an itinerary on there, and I said I understand that, but you have the bus stop down right down the street from the bus station. So if you look at GPS, it looks like you're in the right spot. And then they said, well, we'll make sure our people don't, you know, right away they'll look at the ticket to make sure that, you know, it's the right bus. And because they eventually told her where to get the bus, but she'd already been standing in front of that bus for 10 minutes. So if they would have, instead of just said, you know, you have to call customer service, they should have said, oh, wait a minute, your bus is there. She did speak to Greyhound people. Because I looked at the GPS and I'm like, okay, it looks like you're in the right location. I mean, I didn't know they have, it's kind of convenient, but inconvenient. You have to walk down the street to catch that bus. So if you're connecting from a Greyhound, you only have to walk a block. But when you don't know how the system works, or you're not just looking for your connection or whatever it is, and you look at it, and it may have confused them. Right? They may have been confused too because it looked like it was the right location. Because it's only like a half a block or something. So when you look at GPS and you look down on it, it looks like, oh, okay, because here's the Greyhound station and here's where the bus is going to be. But it's not the Greyhound station. Yeah, some of those rich foreigners that Trump loves having here because they're rich like him and won't let us have a penny. They curse us off. And that's how it works. There's no reason that people don't have money other than being cursed off. And when Trump took office, they started cursing people off again at a higher rate. because he juiced it. He's still up there, and the Saudis are backing him. I surmise that whole fight with Saudi Arabia is about Trump. They want Trump in. They want forgiveness, call up Trump. Oh, my buddy got in trouble in LA. Okay, he can go away free because you're a great American, Saudi people. I mean, he's not a great American. He's not even an okay American. He's darn right shitty. So God gave me that video where that guy's a monster. I said Trump to shut up. I told him to shut up. I did online. I gave my advice whether he saw it or not. So just shut up, Trump. I told him in the beginning. I said, stay away from this kind of stuff. Let the people out here do it. But I wasn't speaking about poor boys or Proud Boys. Poor boys. They're going to be they're poor boys now. Proud Boys and 3%ers. I wasn't speaking about doing that kind of stuff. At first, I'm like, okay, yeah, they won't let them have the prayer meetings. This is horrible. And then I saw what was going on. I'm like, that's not a prayer meeting. So again, it's like, it's absolute scam, just like Vladimir Putin. We're with God. So I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, there's a chance it wouldn't go. It's like every other case in the world. If you get a certain jury, it's not going to go at all. If you get a different jury, it'll be like. But I mean, the evidence is there. It's obvious. There's probably additional criminal conspiracy. So again, what he'll try to act like is the government's beating him up. He's guilty of so many criminal conspiracies, it's not even funny. This place is laid back. When I was in Amarillo, they used to watch on the camera for people that would sneak people into the room. You couldn't, the one guy wanted to bring. I mean, they weren't too bad to me, but the one guy wanted to bring his daughter in with his son-in-law for dinner. And you have to pay for them to go in your room. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, oh, wait, we're going to go out and barbecue. Because I saw him coming out the barbecue. It's like, I can't believe this. my son-in-law and my daughter came in my room for dinner. And we're going to have dinner. And they freaked out. So, yeah, he had the old... We had a little area behind where we stayed, and they had a barbecue back there. But I guess they get ripped off, Yeah. One, they get ripped off. Two, some felon staying in there. How the guy that was staying with me turned out to be a felon, I guess, if it's real. I mean, it could be the government just trying to play a game with it. That's a problem when they start doing that. You don't know if it's real or not, and it does matter. But I called somebody and said, hey, you're looking for somebody. I think I know where you're at. I mean, it was something like murder or something. When they, he's wanted for possession of a doobie. Well, he had a woman with him, and they'll do something like that. We'll see if Moore tries to hook up with the woman. And we'll write that up, that he's taking advantage of poor people. Right. Meanwhile, give the poor people a couple $1,000. They'll do whatever we say. You have to hate Moore at all costs. That's why they work so hard, because they keep doing that kind of stuff, and they want to try to cover it up by saying it's like some weird stuff in their head that if I speak about it, that means I'm guilty of it. Like, why doesn't that apply to you? Oh, because we're allowed to commit crimes. So yeah, I was behind in tithing. I wasn't handing out $20 bills to homeless people as I drove down the street. God may have did that so I could do that for whatever purpose it is. Again, even if she didn't make it on the bus, it has a metaphysical purpose, as witnesses. I think she got to the other city, which is a Democratic Party-run state and city. Like, why are you in Texas? You're homeless and disabled. No, they whacked her head. They're playing the deep state game with her. So they pushed her out of Santa Fe. And I know they did, because they did it to me. But again, why would you want to stay there? But for her, she had her apartment and everything. I'd be like laughing at him at that point. You all leave. I got a $2,000 apartment for free. That's like a place I can't even stay at because I make too much money. Which is great. I'm not complaining about it, but like I told you, I make the amount of money that's uncomfortable. You don't like, if I had another $400 or $500 a month, I'd be fine. Maybe even $300. But I don't make that extra that puts me into a nicer place to live, and then I don't. But I have to do what I'm doing. Otherwise, well, why don't you just sell all your recording equipment and don't say anything? So that's where they go all the time, because I have to. I have to keep doing this until God says I don't. So again, when you're a prophet, you're also staying alive because they're killing you. So as you speak, you get credit. And you're downing their evil system. So if nobody says anything, if nobody goes, who will go, I will, that kind of thing, then their evil increases. So it is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. Yeah, it's a little early. What it is in about an hour or two, the pollen subsides a little more. It's like mold and dust and stuff. So it kind of calms down a little bit. So that's the difference. So I'm a little bit like... So the other cases where people had records, they weren't conspiring to hide the records. So that's a big difference. That's like the worst thing, when they can peg you with a criminal conspiracy. So that is absolutely the worst thing when considering something like that. Because otherwise you could kind of maybe get out of it. But once you have a criminal conspiracy to obstruct or something like that, I mean, he's just like a lunatic. He's a lunatic. There's no reason for like any of it. Like I told you, when I got out of government, I knew the game. I said, burn everything. Burn everything. Excellent. Yeah, they made sure I never got anywhere. So you're always striving to get somewhere. It's a form of depletion, because they allow it to move enough to lure you to move forward, and then they destroy everything and torture you with it. And then somebody gets rich somewhere. So, I was sitting there and listening to, fly in the head on the wall, or fly on the wall in the head, or fly on the skull in the head. I'm sitting there listening to like Meta, Zuckerberg, and all those people. And it kind of went a little bit. And then Elon Musk came up in the head. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Like the new Twitter, you know. But he linked it to Instagram, so it's not the new Twitter then, is it? It's just a rehashed Instagram. Unless he said it's standalone app, so I'm not sure what he's doing. So I don't want to kill it right away, but that's a tall order. I can't even get to Facebook hardly at all anymore. I was tortured, and it's most likely the people that worked there. I don't know who worked there at the time, but they tortured me. And it may have been something external also used, like direct energy. Back then I didn't connect the dots. The Santa Fe. Oh, it's the Santa Fe. So, like, it was working, like whole, you know, because, you know, they project, we got this new app and it's going to be the new Twitter and people want sane management. And, and then Elon Musk pops up in the head. I'll believe it when I see it. And it went, see, that Musk's already killing it. But he's got a point, you know. I can't get on Blue Sky. I keep getting this thing from Jack telling me to go to Blue Sky. I may have got the offer. I don't know. I don't remember what email it is. It's kind of weird, you know, trying to wait for the email, and maybe who knows? It could be my spam. And that's the weird part. I get called everywhere, and then they kill me. They may not even know I'm the person they called, because they may hear something in the mind. And then, of course, if you curse, or if you pray, but they curse, that's God. Jesus. Earlier they were going, yeah, they were being facetious. They're like, yeah, you know, they're talking about my tithing system. And they go, yeah, Jesus would hate that. Jesus would hate Larry. And Jesus is in the head with his arms crossed. They're all laughing. That's like a Jesus tithe system, right? Drive down the street and hand out 20s. When you have $5,000 debt, owe $10,000 on your vehicle. Or a couple thousand, 5,000, whatever, credit card debt. But I was coming out of debt. They willed that up, and I know they probably connected her in to call me, to contact me on Messenger, you know, and all that. I know they played it so they feel like, wow, I got him, but you didn't get me. I mean, God got all of you to have her contact me. We went through whatever it is to do whatever it is we did. I just hope she got to the new city. Because again, that's considered good works and charity. Dragging a little bit here. I wanted to drive my vehicle, but I don't want to go over what I claim. I usually am well under, but I don't want to go over what I claim, how many miles I drive in a year. If I had money, I'd be driving around healing and broadcasting from my vehicle. Have a nicer van, you know. I don't know if I can get away from vans. I look at all the vehicles and I'm like, that sliding door. There's nothing better than that. What they should do, and I'm thinking it up. They should build like really cool SUVs and stuff with those sliding doors. even van size, but like spruce it up, you know, and maybe an all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive option with like some off-road kind of stuff. You can't beat that. It's like a box, almost like a box van, you know, like a FedEx vehicle on wheels. You know, it's a mini, but you know, it's still works great. You can't beat it. I'm like addicted to a van now. Can't beat it. Maybe if I had a normal life, I would. But I purchased it. I couldn't even sit in a U-Haul pickup truck and drive a rental and drive around and look for a vehicle in Tyler. I couldn't even sit in the vehicle. It was that bad. So I was in Tyler going, oh my God. And they did it. I mean, all those years that I missed my massage is what did it. And then they may have drugged me. There was still an option for that to have happened because this thing wouldn't unlock till I got here. And this place was more secured. Trying to speak through me, but I'm listening a little bit as I whisper. That's a weird energy right here. The front of the building's got weird energy. Hopefully it's nobody pot shotting with direct energy. They got one of those light poles. They got a big direct energy beam. They just zero in on it and go, bink! You must worship Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They are God on earth. Bink! Ah! You are being punished because you are not a good American like Donald Trump. A great American, I guess. He's actually shitty. You know, remember those terms, shitty? You're shitty, Trump. Elon Musk dabbles in shitty every so often. He like sticks his toe in the shit pile. Do I want to jump in or not? It's interesting that he selected Kennedy. You know, there are criminal conspiracies, or I guess conspiracies within COVID, but it's not the way he's framing it. It's much more basal. Kind of getting rich and all that. That's why we don't have an alternative vaccine yet. Because they're making too much money off those vaccines. They all have stock in it. But Large Marge, like, okay, you know, all the Marshals are going, okay, Marge, you like really care about people, or is the whole city jail in DC thing? You know, it's actually better than it used to be, and like nobody cares about it until the white people go in there. So when the white people from Georgia, white people from Texas end up in the city jail in DC, all of a sudden everybody cares. See, I'm like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon all in one. I also do the laugh side of it. I used to be like amazed with Ed McMahon. I'm like, this is so weird. Well, he speaks and this guy laughs. Here, Johnny. Got some vehicle from Iowa here, Potawatomi County. I think there's a Potawatomi in Oklahoma, isn't there? Or no, is that New Jersey? From Cape Henlopen to Potawatomi or something. They used to have the weather reports, and the the navigation report or something, the oceanography from Cape Henlopen to somewhere. I don't even know where that is. But it used to come up on the weather radio all the time. So again, the church has been taken over by whatever it is, and it's most likely the beast. And again, there's beast everywhere. But when you violate certain things in the Bible to a certain degree, again, speaking about from a kind of ruleristic standpoint, then it starts eating you up. And that's why, again, it's a combination. One thing is they're willing people to be gay, and they're willing people to be trans, because, the Islams are coming. Remember that one? And then they seem like they were everywhere, right? Same thing with gay people and the LGBTQ and the trans. They're increasing because you want them to increase, church. So you can say we're victimized. Like you're being carried into captivity for your sins, church. You see, you understand now where it is in the Bible? Not because I said it, because God got through and had me say it. So that's what's happening. You're being carried into captivity. So again, let's revisit that one thing. So the church says that we have to go back to the garden. And in the garden, there was one man and one woman. Again, of course, we have more people here, so there's more metaphysical disruption. But let's go back to that. A man and a woman. And I'm not telling people to be gay. I'm not telling them to be that. But if you're going to go and make that argument, then we might as well take our clothes off and walk around naked. Because maybe that's how it works. If we all walk around naked, maybe we'll be heterosexual. Each and every one of us. So when we put clothes on, that made people gay. I'm just going to stick with the church's argument there. So if we were naked, we wouldn't be gay. We'd all be heterosexual. So maybe at the Pride events, it's like a healing thing. They all get naked and they start thinking about being heterosexual. We'll just take what the church is saying and move forward. No, I know I love women and I want to be with one, but they won't allow it. Keep blocking my life like a bunch of devils that they are. No, that's why I sat there in Lowe's, or not Lowe's, actually Lowe's too. No, I didn't do it in Lowe's. It's the only place I didn't have a friend, I think. But I didn't. I had friends in Home Depot. I had friends in Ross and TJ Maxx, and I would speak to them. And not because like, oh, I'm trying to have sex with them. It was the fact that I could speak to somebody that was feminine, like really feminine. I mean, of course, they had all the guys trying to talk to me that were gay. I'm like, who put you up this? But I didn't say it. I acted stupid. Oh, hi, how you doing? You're the gay guy they're trying to fix me up with, right? DHS. Then when they go, well, Moore stopped going to stores. You must be guilty. He used to go to stores all the time. Yeah, and you said he was guilty when he went to the stores. Well, but now he's not going. You see? So again, The reality is, live and let live is pretty much what Paul got to. Well, the problem with rebuking people, if you offend them, then you offend the Bible, you offend Jesus, you offend Paul. Well, Jesus said, "Greater work shall you do," and I'm with that. I understand what he's saying. No greater forgiveness. Yeah, I'm big, and I know it. I mean, spiritually, they kill my life, but they have to be directly on me to do it. Otherwise, I'll rise and I'll go like, yes, and then he'll rape and take advantage of all of us. That's how they speak to people, like the big illusion, con trick. But it was funny because I never knew for sure what I was doing, but I was like, it's interesting. God sent me to this city to heal, and up on the billboard, T.D. Jakes is going to be here in a few weeks. So I actually healed the place. For T.D. Jakes, who knows if he can do anything? And God said, I had you heal the place for him. Not for him, for them. But see, that's how the system works. And I'm not saying he has no capability, but what it will do is it'll say it's this one individual, and it's not all that individual or at all. There may be another 50 healers that heal these places. And then T.D. Jakes walks in and says, it's me. But I do believe he would have some ability. He still doesn't understand everything, but neither do I. But I think I'm a little bit ahead of him. No, God sent me in to heal cities. And they all dissed me off, and God said, all right, let's move on. They'll be in hell for a while. Let's find some other place to heal. Maybe they'll appreciate us. New York City. So again, I explained before we got to this point of the LGBTQ trans explosion. And again, it's happening because people are willing it up. And the majority of people that will it up are those that say it shouldn't be. And it's that same age-old ruleristic scam. Like Jesus spoke about it. The same thing. That they're monkeying around with everything. The Sadducees, Pharisees, and Sanhedrin and all that. And they won't let the other people enter in. So again, they're not even letting you enter into heterosexuality now. It's that bad. It may have been that way the whole time. And they're doing it physically. If they decide somebody has to be gay, they're gonna play that game all day. Why? Because they're getting paid from Satan. But yet there are those out there that are getting paid from criminal enterprise, whether it be government or private sector. So really, Kennedy is the best candidate. Elon Musk is right. But nobody's. I mean, but what? We'd rather somebody not say anything and be a crook. I don't think Kennedy's a crook. I think that's the one thing about Kennedy. I don't think he's a crook, which is strange because Musk is a crook. Maybe he figures he can control him. All right, your backers are a crook. I don't know if you're a crook. So again, he invited the left to come on to Twitter and have some, broadcasts and things like that. But do you actually want that? So again, we don't know if Elon Musk is just saying it and then willing it not to happen. So again, see that scam. FBI tells you don't be a terrorist. We even tried to stop him. We told him not to be a terrorist after we wired him to be a terrorist for 6 months. And he still was a terrorist. They isolate the guy, and they're the only buddies, and they feed him Islamic scripture and IED making for 6 months, and they go, "Oh, don't do that, don't do that." Okay, if it wasn't you, it's the CIA that watch your operations and scam everybody with you. So you can go work for Twitter and Google and Visa and MasterCard. This guy, he's got psychological issues. We can maybe we can get him to do it. You're supposed to protect people like that. No, the psychological division in the FBI says there are certain people that need to be disrupted. And it's worth a supervisor position. Now, there's some people that actually didn't do it. They took them to get help. You only read about the people that actually did it. Oh, I can't believe you did that. Some people didn't do it. They thought this guy help. More will be yelling at us. Well, because that's the difference between yesterday and today. Again, I'm telling you, it's not bail reform. I was taken care of, I admit, by a police officer once, and I deserved it. That man will be in heaven. You'll see him with one of those gold discs around his head. And so will the lady. There's a man and a female police officer. Actually, I was okay, actually. Because, just believe me, it wasn't happening the way it was happening, where they thought initially it was happening. But they made sure they took care of me when I explained what was going on, and I did. Can't say that from Mount Laurel. Pieces of shit. I had all my rights taken away, I'll tell you that right now. I had to build that all back up again. And they still try it every so often. Again, my housing rights are shit. Oh, because you have to be disrupted. like who thinks of something like that? Satan, right? The FBI hears Satan. Well, we have to disrupt that person. Sounds great. Oh, Jesus. Yes, use the partners in the church. You know, Bongino probably wouldn't have had a radio show unless I tried to have one. Or, a talk show. They killed me, and then all of a sudden Bongino shows up in my place. So I'm like, oh, this is great. And he's going, you have to make choices. Wait, Satan said that. Bongino's mouthing Satan's words. You got to choose one side or the other. No, we don't. We're with God. We're for everybody. That's why it didn't work. I said that into the mind. That's what they're doing to everybody. You have to choose sides. Yes, Satan. Yes, we do. No, it's not Satan. It's Jesus. Jesus is telling us this. Well, in a certain way you do. But again, the audiences in the Bible and the directions that Jesus and Paul and all of them pointed people into were based upon those groups of people that were spoken about in the Bible, such as, the things that we wrestle against, rulers and that type of thing. Ezekiel 34, where God hates the shepherds. And again, shepherds, take that word shepherds and call it leaders or leadership or rulers and that kind of thing. Again, based upon what Christianity today says about leadership, you would say that I'm right instead of trying to say I'm wrong. Because again, you can't go back and forth in what you're all saying and then expect me to be able to explain it to you. Again, God showed me when I woke up. He actually showed me in a vision He goes, "This is how people think." And he had like 10 railroad tracks laid out in the vision. And people would be thinking or speaking, and then they go wink over the next railroad track, boop over the other railroad track, and then boop over the other one where they started. So again, that's really it's kind of like double tongued or double minded, but it's even worse. So again, when you read the Bible, you have to realize there's different groups of people. And when somebody's a victim, they're a victim. It just works like that. And again, where does the victimization begin and where is it really actually effectuating metaphysically? And the problem is we can't see that 100%. So again, we have to leave that judgment up to God. So it's again, while we disrupt people, who are we disrupting? Again, disruption technology, if you use it with the right concept and the right amount and do it when you're supposed to be doing it instead of, in other words, if somebody's about to commit a crime, okay. But just because you don't want Larry with a woman, you can't say he's going to commit a crime every time he sees a woman and starts talking to her. And that's what you did. Because I'd have been healthy. That would have been one of the things that would have been healthy for me. And I actually would have had a different life. But it wasn't that I was in the gym. I did injure probably myself a little bit in the gym, but it wasn't a lot. It was all the other stuff they were doing. Again, tighten me up with the stress and all that. And again, well, if you weren't guilty of crime, you wouldn't be stressed out. That's a lie. It's designed to kill somebody that way. And also, you blocked my physical therapy. You actually physically did it. I pushed that one time past where I normally would, and they canceled my membership and probably made a complaint about me and all that kind of stuff. There was nothing there except them trying to sexualize me. And then when they did it, one of their women, and I don't know if she was an agent or a real massage therapist, she stalked me in Walmart. So part of that was trying to get me not to speak about the people that were stalking me. You see, because they canceled my membership. What they wanted to do was to take me into a massage parlor like the one over here, where it's probably, sexual or something like that. Happy ending, as they call it. Because once you go in there, then they'll write up the report, well, we found them in a happy ending massage place. I actually canceled Asian massage because I was worried about that. When I was where was that? Phoenix, Tempe or something. No, not Tempe. I stayed in Tempe. What was the other place? Mesa, right? I was just like, nah, I can't do it. I wanted to see if it would help, Right. But I'm like, what if? And I'm going to have to deal with that. But they were trying to turn me on in there. In the massage place in Santa Fe, no doubt. And I didn't bite. And then I started, speaking to my friends. They had what they did is in where I lived in Santa Fe, they had a camera and a listening device. No doubt. Definitely a listening device, maybe a camera. I knew where it was. I wasn't going to look at the ceiling and try to find it. They eventually got cameras. They probably wired into that with a listening device. They put like security cameras in at a certain point. Just in my hallway, right? Because I'd go and I'd talk to my neighbor and I'd watch them react. Trying to paranoid me out, but because every time you speak to somebody, they operate around what you're saying. And then you don't want to speak to people theoretically, but again, I speak. That's just the way it is. And if I can't speak to people, I'll speak here. But it'll move into the heads and has. How many minutes have I been speaking? Oh, we're getting there. Oh, why did I say 17? Remember today, the vehicle went by. Well, that's one of the numbers they use, and it's a typo that they caused along the way. But it's when I type the other number. No, they can cause the typo. What they do is, again, it's crazy making and gaslighting. When they hack, they can alter your keyboard. So the other number gets, and then they go, oh no, you're just messing up. You just can't handle it. You can't type on a keyboard. That's the one thing about the internet and the mobile devices. The keyboard's not solid. So they can alter the parameters on the keyboard. Again, it could be AI. And it most likely is. There's AI out there attacking people already. I know 100% sure. Again, it could be like NSA or the NSA in Russia, China, wherever. No, the NSA attacked people in the freaking 80s. And 90s. I know they're attacking people now. It's corruption, man. Corruption rules the day. As long as you don't investigate or speak about the corruption that they tell you not to speak about and investigate, then you could be a fake U.S. attorney or whatever else they are. So it is what it is. This lady's got a couple cute grandkids running around. They tell you everything when you walk up. They go, and the other kid goes, and you just really don't know what they're saying. You're just like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. And my mother, that's why we're here. Oh, yeah, it reminds me. Pray for her because she was in the hospital. Kid told me she was in the hospital. Pray for her. And then my neighbor, a guy from where he works has an identical pickup truck. He came over and was trying to text him while standing out in front of his place. So I got no idea what's happening. All I know is last Sunday or before last Sunday, he said, I said, when are you going home? He said, next Sunday. I think he was actually supposed to leave before that. He's gone. He's drinking all day. He just sits in there drunk, comes out, smokes a cigarette, and you talk, hey, yeah. Sometimes he doesn't want to speak, I think, because he's that drunk. So again, you have to pray for him. I think they're trying to get him home. He might lose the job. I don't know if he has this job back home or not. He's got a pickup truck from them. I just don't know what to say to him, I don't want to offend him. If that guy shows up again, I might. See, I don't want to talk to him because he might lose his job. But he needs to get home to Houston is what I understand. Like I said, his son, he said my son, he didn't tell me why. He just said my son said, I know you're going to be okay, Dad. I'm praying for you. So again, now I know what that is. I know why he's probably divorced. Again, we all go through things and we end up getting divorced at times because we're attacked. It's not him. Alcoholism is a demon that people project into his life, and he's black from Ethiopia, and he's part of Ethiopian Orthodox. So again, those people are cursed. But he wasn't drinking like this when he was on the job, and then all of a sudden, that was it. Towards the end, maybe they're firing him. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's still here. Trying to milk it till as soon as he drives back to Houston, they tell him to turn the vehicle and keys in or something. But he's definitely having alcohol issues. But I can only get so involved. It's actually at the point that somebody might need to call adult services, but, again, there's only so much they can do on that also. But I don't know how long they're going to pay for the room. I don't know if the room's supposed to be vacated or what. I guess that'll come to a head at a certain point. But they'll let you go here after, like, if you don't pay for a few days, if you've been here for like a few months or something and you miss a day, they won't like chase you out right away. So in that way, they do appreciate the business. And I think most people that stay end up paying anyway because they got a credit card on file and all. So my credit score actually went up because I stood my ground. Otherwise, something went wrong. Because I'm reusing my debt. Now they're trying to bump it back up. But I'm having a credit card flip today that's zero. Actually, it's less than zero. It's like minus $64. I had like 2 credit cards that were like minus. One was like 55, the other one was 65. I paid it off. But I returned a couple things. I can't, I get into this thing where I buy this technology from China or devices, technological devices, cameras and stuff, or electronics, and it's just junk. I mean, the night vision, I was in the Army in the 80s. And night vision's better than that camera. And I'm just like, I hate when that's for sale. But I guess it has its purposes. If you weren't going to use it at night as much or had a well-lit area, it probably would work. It had some benefit to it, and then the one I bought was super wide view. The next one was almost identical, and it was like this really narrow view. And I'm like, The one I kept, it's just like the color is totally off. It's like red and greens where it's supposed to be black and something else. Like, oh yeah, the green's red and the black is green. So I imagine it's for indoor use because I was like researching it, but it doesn't say that. It says indoor and outdoor. But it's not outdoor. It just looks outdoor. That's all. I ended up returning that and had a negative balance on my credit card, so I've like a credit. But I spent all that on that bus trip, so the one card's going to move up quick. I'm going to try to counter it by using a different card because I have to pay that one early. That's like the first one that's due in the month, so I don't want to end up with a balance on there if I can erase it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it that low next month, but it'll be somewhere close. All right, it's probably all there is. I'm gonna chill out here for a bit. Who knows? I might be out in an hour again. I'm trying to get 2 walks in a day. I just can't seem to muster it. It's just the way like if I was in an apartment where the woods are, I'd probably have it done. It's just the sun just gets early in the morning here. There's not enough shade here. When I was at Oklahoma, they had the carports for the cars, so I could kind of position myself out of the sun here and there. Here, I can't do that. Maybe on the other side I could a little. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.